Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to another Daily Nugget video. I am your host, Trent Dyrsmid, and this is my video that's supposed to come out every day, but never seems to, but it's still called the Daily Nugget, where I share with you, or answer your questions first of all, and I share with you the experiences that I'm having as I grow my e-commerce business from the 3 to 4 million that we're on track to do in 2018 to our next goal of 10 million bucks. So as I mentioned in the prior video, I've been away for a while. It's good to be back. I hope you're having a wonderful summer, and let's get to it. So this video is the importance of telling people, just checking to see if I got anything on the whiteboard there for notes, the importance of telling people what you want. And by the way, this is my 100th Daily Nugget. So like, yay! I can't believe we actually cranked out 100 of these things already. So a couple months ago, across the street from us, they're building a new building, and they being whoever the heck owns it. And there was a sign out front with the broker's name, and so I called them up one day and I said, you know, we're kind of getting ready to outgrow our space, and I'm kind of interested in some new space. And so we start negotiating for 3,000 square feet, 3,200 feet in this building. And over the course of that rather painful negotiation, it became apparent that the landlord really didn't have a clue what they were doing, because they kept saying, well, we need more money, we need more money, we need more money. And one day I said to during this process, I told the realtor what I really wanted. I said, you know what I really want? I really want to buy a building like this, because I like making money in my internet businesses and then taking it out and buying real estate, because real estate is a beautiful long-term asset that I can count on when I'm too old and decrepit to do this anymore. And so a couple of weeks after that, he called me up and he said, Trent, there's a 18,000 square foot building, kind of like what they're building across the way, 5 streets away from where you are now. It's listed for $1.3 million, and it's just come onto the market, and for whatever reason, it didn't get on the MLS tour this week. So not too many people know about it. And in my market, buildings like this do not come up for sale. And the vacancy rate here is under 2%. To say the market is tight is an understatement. He said, you need to go and see that building today. So obviously I did. And we wrote an offer on it that day, and we now have that building under contract. And in about another 30 days or so, I should own it. So first of all, had I not told the real estate broker that one day, because I was thinking like a year from now, that I wanted to buy a building, he would have never thought of me to call me when that opportunity came along. And what an opportunity it is. So in my last video, I talked about us opening a retail store. So this is something that we, and actually let me back up a bit. It's a great deal as an investment on its own. It cash flows like crazy. It'll probably produce $40,000 a year in positive cash flow. So in addition to the tenants that are in the building, and we're going to move our business into it too, of course, but they're going to pay the mortgage down for me, and I'm going to have $40,000 to $50,000 a year of positive cash flow. So yay, what an awesome investment that is. And it allows me the opportunity, and I'm going to get an SBA loan, which will allow me to buy it for 10% down. But there's some strings attached to an SBA loan. You have to have the intent to occupy 51%, so that'll be about 9,000 square feet. I don't really need 9,000 square feet, but I definitely have the intent to occupy it. But it allows me the opportunity to try this retail store. Now, why am I opening a retail store? Because I think people are going to come in and buy stuff? No, I'm never going to advertise it. Honestly, the door probably will be locked most of the time because we're going to be upstairs in our office. It is for no other reason than to be able to tell a supplier, yeah, we're a brick and mortar store, and it'll pass the smell test because it'll be a legit store. It'll have all the things that every other store would have, but it allows me to put a check in the checkbox. And, you know, I'm probably going to lose $1,000 a month in rent, you know, if I was leasing that space out to some other tenant. So $12,000 a year of lost rent. Well, how many accounts do you think that I need to land to make up that $12,000? 1. So anything more than 1 is gravy. So it's a pretty good deal. Now, this is something we thought of doing before, but here's why it's so much easier. If I'm going to go lease space in somebody else's building, it's really hard to make it an experiment. because they're going to want me to commit and for a long period of time, and I'm not going to be able to get out of it. So if this retail store experiment doesn't work, if it doesn't make the difference and help us to secure more accounts, like why would I continue doing it? And the answer is, well, I wouldn't. So in my own space, that's easy. I just then turn the space back into an office or industrial or whatever I want to do, and I just lease it out to somebody else, and now I've got cash flow coming in. All of that to say, make sure that you tell people in your network what you want. And, you know, doing these videos and having my podcast and the relationships that come from my podcast, I make sure to always tell people what I want. So that's my lesson for you in today's video, and I hope that it is a valuable one. So if this is your first time watching the video and you want to ask me questions, or even if it's your fifth time watching the video and you want to ask me questions, that's real easy to do. Go to Brightideas.co/asktrent. If you're not yet a subscriber, I strongly encourage you to become one at Brightideas.co, because you'll get notifications of future videos, you'll get notifications of future podcasts, and I got some really cool podcast interviews coming up. As an example, you know those things you put on the back of the cell phone, those little telescopic dealies that you'll put your finger on? They're called a pop socket. That company has 10x'd its revenue every year since 2014. It's now in the hundreds of millions of dollars. And hey, I get to interview the founder, and that's going to be a really cool interview. I did an interview recently with Steve Chu. I don't think that one's published from my wife, quitterjob.com. That one was a super cool interview, learned a lot in there. So make sure you stay tuned for that stuff. And the easy way to not miss it is to become a subscriber. And you can also join our free or paid Facebook mastermind groups, where we're having daily ongoing conversations about what's working and what isn't working in the e-commerce world. So thanks very much for tuning in. It's a pleasure to have you here. I will see you in the next video in just a little bit. Take care. Bye-bye.